Hello and welcome to another episode of the Discourse Assembly. We are three lifelong friends who battle it out, cage match style, for your entertainment. Weapon of choice? Our minds.
Shovels.
There will
I like
be
that.
blood.
Anise.
No, there won't be blood. Minds cannot
There
draw
might
blood.
be.
Not yet. In the future, perhaps.
Will there?
Could
All
be.
right. Consensus is maybe. I like it. Remember, if you like this content, please share with your friends. If you don't like the content, share with your enemies. We'd enjoy either way.
Tell them
Smash
about the
that like
algorithm.
button.
Smash it. Got to smash
There's
it.
an algorithm.
Yeah, numbers.
There's
and
an
stuff.
algorithm.
You're terrible. You should learn about the algorithm, man.
Smash the like button as many times as you like, but do my friend Mike a favor here and do it an odd number of times. He likes it that way. We don't know why. Make sure that you subscribe. Keep
To
checking
work.
back. Resubscribe if you've mysteriously been unsubscribed. I'm pretty
What's
sure.
happened? Matt's learning.
Yeah.
Matt,
Yeah.
you've been
Again,
watching YouTube, man.
I learned about the aliens that are unsubscribing people from good channels like ours.
Yeah. Thanks, Alphabet Inc. Also, make sure you hit that bell. Ding. You get notifications wherever we put new stuff up.
You want to be friends, Matt?
Ding. With you?
No, that's you'll have to look into that. That's interesting too. I may be going too
Look
far
into
down the
friends?
YouTube rabbit hole.
Okay. All right.
It's just random posts on videos that just say want to be friends, and it was like this big thing where people are trying to figure out who's doing it and why.
They're
Look
looking
into
for
it.
friends, apparently.
Well, I mean, what kind of friends was the?
Well,
That's
why
kind of the
can't we
point.
be friends?
Why can't
we are, Matt, just-
be friends? Why can't
You just said we were
be
lifelong friends, which
I
you
don't
can't know that because
Channel.
you don't know what's going to happen in the future. We could hate each other tomorrow.
And we can
after
also
this
die
exact episode.
tomorrow.
But for the sake of this channel, I keep it going.
You're lying. You're lying to the masses.
We are currently lifelong friends. Subject
Wait,
to
For our
change.
current lifespan.
Small
Wait a minute,
lettering
I
at the
did not-
bottom of the screen.
I did not know Matt his entire life, so, and you weren't around for my entire life, Mike. So none of that makes sense.
Those 2 years that you remember so well.
You. My mom ran over my foot with a vacuum cleaner.
What?
That's all I remember.
There was probably something like dust or something on his foot.
It's a nightmare from his childhood.
I remember. That's the only thing I remember.
Playing with the vacuum. Oh my god! Greg's like a dog or a
my
cat.
butt.
Vacuums are scary.
not-
He's been afraid of
Well, hold
vacuums
on.
ever since.
Well, you got your dog shots
Oh.
this week.
That what is that? What are you talking about, Matt?
You got your
You
dog
told
shots
us you
this
got
week,
dog shots.
and that they were expensive.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh my
Cure
god.
your heartworm.
Animals are expensive. Holy crap.
Greg, as an animal though, you're a human. You do not require dog shots.
You don't.
I just
No,
saved
I
you
got-
some money.
I
You're
got
welcome.
shots for my dog. It was really drunk. There.
You got your dog drunk.
Your dog was drunk?
Did you get drunk
Yeah, I
with
got
the
him
dog?
shots.
Is that why you ended up with the dog shots?
No, I gave the dog the shots. I
You
just
gave the
watched.
dog the shots?
I like to watch.
That's weird. It's really weird, Greg.
I like to see smaller animals in pain.
Dog's not. I mean, it probably was in pain. I don't know. Jackie did it. I didn't do it. I really had nothing to do with it. I just saw the bill come up. I'm like, holy crap.
Greg has no empathy. He does not know if another person or being is in pain. That's not a good trait to have, Greg.
No, Matt, I couldn't. I wasn't there. I don't know how much pain
No,
the
it's
dog
too
is in.
late. You said you like to watch.
I I didn't watch that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Seriously.
And how do you know you like it so
I-
much?
I feel an investigation is in order.
Do you know what a joke is, Mike?
Next on tDA, we investigate the watching of Dogs in Pain by Greg. News at 11.
Okay.
Jokes, what are they? Party.
Where did they come from?
And when did they end?
Next on
We may never
Unsolved
know.
Mysteries.
Unsolved Mysteries.
Maybe you
That's a good
will
show.
be the one who solves the next mystery. I love that, dude. It's
Are
on
you, like-
Amazon Prime, so I've been watching it. I'm like on season 2 or 3.
Oh yeah, we watched it.
Solved?
I don't know. Yeah,
It's so
we
good.
went on a whole binge like a couple months ago.
Dude, every once in a while you
mean-
find something really good on Prime.
The ghosts and the
Every
alien
once
ones are the best.
Yeah, anything to do with ghosts, possessions, aliens. Because a lot of the murder
those are the
ones,
best
I'm like, I already know about this story. I'm like, dang it.
Mike knows all about the murders.
I, like any middle-aged white man, I have clearly binged a lot of serial killer documentaries.
I know about these murders. I've taken part in a few of them.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
That is the keyword.
No, come on. As a middle-class white man, you have to admit you've binged some serial killer documentaries. You've
love
gone
serial-
down the rabbit hole.
Of
Sure.
course you do. You know, you could be a serial killer, Matt. We've said it for years.
I am the quiet one.
You are the
Yeah.
perfect candidate. Everyone would be
Yeah.
like, no, there's no way Matt could kill like,
He seemed
15
like
people.
such a nice neighbor. He kept to himself.
Right.
He was
Exactly.
very pleasant. He maintained his yard.
Right. No one can say that about Mike or I.
No, not at all. I am definitely not quiet. I do not maintain a yard.
Well, by
My neighbors
forensic
are-
science, you guys are not murderers now.
Right. My neighbor's like, that guy's probably a dick. I don't even want to talk to him. So, not a serial killer.
It's amazing
Science.
how much of a judge of character he is.
They-
If I actually talk to him, I might know more, but I'm just assuming he hates me. So,
the eyes
whatever.
met once. The guy's like, dick.
Maybe that was me and I'm just projecting.
It could be.
I mean, I wouldn't deny that either.
Either way, it's right.
It is right. 'Cause I said so. Yeah. Now you're getting it. It's good.
It's all coming together.
I've had it. Many years.
This
Many,
puzzle's
many
been
years.
solved, but now it's been solved right here on the screen for everybody to see.
Like I said, Greg, lifelong friends.
Lifelong
So
friends.
what else, Matt?
Hey, you're a dick.
So,
Exactly. It's fine.
we all know
Hey.
Greg's a dick. You all know I'm a serial killer. It's just how it works when you're friends for that long. You know each other's hidden secrets.
Am I really a dick, though? Like, really? I think I'm pretty
And
nice.
today on the Discourse Assembly, we're going to move on to other topics.
That's a great segue. I like it.
What those topics are, I don't know. We'll figure it out right now with you.
It all comes
Let's
together.
talk about your week, Matt. Let's talk about your busy week.
I have a boring story. You don't want mine. I get up, I go to work, I come home, I eat dinner, and I go to bed. And if I'm
That's really
lucky, I get to
boring.
watch The Last Kingdom, which is an amazing show.
I feel really bad for your wife. I wake up, I go to work, I come home, I eat food, I go to bed.
Yeah, and then you guys steal me for about 3 hours on her Saturday. So
On her Saturdays. Well,
she's
Thanks,
not.
Saturdays are for the boys.
that's right.
Gotta get
How
that
was your week,
together,
Greg?
Matt.
It's hard to explain. It was good, and I had to get on a project that I shouldn't have been on because it was a shit show. You're gonna have to edit that out, Mike.
I'm well aware.
And it's just not up to normal standards. So I was really, really frustrated. But I got as much done as I could.
You should do a better job, Greg.
It wasn't my job,
Ooh.
so
Oh, all right.
if it was my job, it wouldn't have got that bad. But whatever.
All
You
right,
got to
we
do
don't
that
care about
sometimes.
Mike's week. Let's move on.
Mike was reading this week.
Yeah, the Wheel of Time series. On book 4 now. I will have to say, best fantasy series I've ever read. There's a reason it's number
Really?
1 on a lot of people's list. Yeah.
Who's the author?
I think.
Robert Jordan. He.
Well, there's multiple ones
I'm
'cause
not.
he
I'm not done
died,
yet.
right?
Yeah, I'm not done. Robert
Okay.
Jordan wrote most of it. The last. I think the last few books was
His
Robert Jordan,
son?
and no, it was it Sanderson, who also is apparently I haven't
Hmm.
read his books, but he's highly rated as a good
Yeah,
fantasy writer. And
I
Robert
read the
Jordan
Name
even wrote the end before he passed away and gave it to Sanderson and said, "This is how it ends." So it wasn't
Really?
like he had to like go back and try to piece it all together. Uh, so apparently, it's some people complain a little bit about the ending, but it's what Robert Jordan wanted from the get
No,
go.
That's fine.
it's another Game of Thrones.
No, no,
Two things
no,
about
no.
that though. Apparently, there's like a book
Don't
that
put
is like 400 pages, okay, in the series. I don't know if you're at it yet, Mike, but it's like it literally encompasses like 30 minutes. But there's like so many characters and there's like time travel and stuff and there's all this stuff happening that it's like literally like a couple hours in the universe, but it's like a whole book.
No, well, so
And it,
far, I mean, they do have jumped around quite a bit, the characters, because they, break apart
Yeah.
and they come back together, and that's been really well done. And sometimes I
That's
forget
good.
about a character, and I'm just
I
like
think
so into one storyline, and then it jumps. I'm like, I totally forgot about this. I'm like, oh, and then I get excited,
yeah.
and it gets really crazy again.
So
Oh
I
man,
also think I thought
It's like,
Amazon was gonna make a Wheel of Time
they
series.
they they still are. They've been filming it,
Okay.
but they
They
were
are.
in Prague filming, and COVID shut it down. But they have a bunch already filmed, but they were trying to get more done, and then COVID.
So is that something we should read before we watch, or what do you think? I should just watch the show.
I don't know
if you want to
because
read the show,
I
Game
looked
of
at
Thrones it.
I looked at some of the actors, and some of them look like they would fit the role pretty well, but some of them you're just like, I don't know, like that's not how I envisioned it by what Robert Jordan has told me. So I would just read it because it seems like the books always seem to be better, and that gives you something to kind
Well,
of play off.
of course, the books are better, right? Because they way
right?
more detailed. You can
Right.
actually hear what their thoughts are. You don't have to project what they're thinking. You can just tell people what they're thinking. So,
Yeah, that's
um,
true.
And
But
you
yeah.
can imagine it better than any director and writer.
right,
yourself.
exactly.
I
But you know
don't.
what you like.
Yeah.
Somewhat. No, I don't. I don't know if I agree with that totally. There's something to be said when you have
We're
to
cutting this
realize
out.
the entire world, right? That's kind of cool.
Well, if you don't agree with me, just cut that part out, Mike. I don't want.
Just cut it out.
No,
We'll fix it in post.
it's cool because one of the main characters, something happens to him, so he's kind of like on the sidelines, but he's there, and like you already kind of like him, but then when he comes back, like you quickly just like he instantly became Matt is his name, M-A-T. It's like Matt Trim Carthron or Cartron. I don't know, bad with names, but
Spoilers.
he became what's his name, right at the beginning of the book.
Do you know what a joke is, Mike?
We're gonna cover that later. Don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
don't worry
We
about
gotta
it.
cut this all out now.
It's next at 11. Uh, so, but it's really good. When he came back, I was like, I think this is like my favorite character now, and I cannot wait to go back. And like so far, that's changed a lot. I'm like, I really like this character, and then all of a sudden, another character gets fleshed out, and you're like, what? So there's so many good characters, and it's really well written. And before like I started reading this, like I was really looking for a good fantasy series, but I was just getting bored of R.A. Salvatore, the Dritz series from Forgotten Realms, D&D if you guys aren't
Oh yeah.
familiar.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
books are written so well, the characters are always really good, but it was just like, okay, I need to take a break from this world. I've read like 13, 14 books on this one world. I haven't got to a conclusion yet because I know he's still writing them, and he's got a lot more that I haven't read. So I was like, let me find a good series, that I could flesh out, have a good time and enjoy it. And a lot of YouTube videos put me to Wheel of Time, and it started off kind of slow. The first book did, and
Yeah.
you're like, okay, come on. But then it just starts gaining speed and the momentum, and then it does not stop. and then it kind of comes to a nice, good halt. It's a good ending of the first book. Second book brings you almost right into it, and then just gets it going again, and has a good pace. A good flow where action slows down a little bit. You hear what the characters think and feel, and you go through all that, and the world gets better explained. The magic system's really
So
well.
digital, or do you do paperback?
I'm doing the Kindle Paperwhite, so digital. I'm a huge fan of the Paperwhite.
Okay.
Check Hoopla.
I love Hoopla. Hoopla's
I can
awesome.
rent-
Yeah. But sadly, it doesn't work with the Kindle. So, and I love the Kindle Paperwhite because it's an ink screen. Your eyes can't tell the difference, so it doesn't strain your eyes like a screen would. I hate reading on like the cell phones and monitors because my eyes are like, this is so stupid. Like, it does not like it at all. So I always suggest the Paperwhite.
There was a a trilogy of books, and I forget what they were called though, but they were like sci-fi, and I really liked them. Man, I can't remember. I was trying to look, but I can't really get onto my.
Did you just look up sci-fi trilogy?
No,
That did bring it up.
I can't. I'd have to sign in. It's a pain in the butt because I'm on my other computer.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of good series out there, and I love to read, but every once in a while, I just for some reason that falls away, and then you're like, dude, I haven't read a book in like 6 months. What's going on?
It would take me forever to finish a book right now. It's like I have about 1 to 2 hours at night, and then just whatever time I get on the weekend.
Well, yeah, I mean that's always an
Like,
issue. Sometimes life just kind of takes over, but like that's why like I decided I'm like okay, like maybe I'm binging too many TV shows. Let's just take a step back and let's do some reading.
last book I read was on vacation. It was a Stephen Lawhead. Did you guys ever read those?
Mm-mm.
Silver Hand,
No.
Albion series, I think it's called. It's good.
Albion series. Albion sounds familiar. I don't know why.
There's a lot of places that have that as a fictional place. Oh, The Atlantis Gene by A.G. Riddle is what I was thinking of. So there's 3 books: The Atlantis Gene, The Atlantis Plague, and The Atlantis World. And I really enjoyed those, but they're pretty cool.
You said those
You are
were
saying Atlantis, not like Atlantis, as in Morris.
Atlantis, yeah.
Those would be weird books. The Atlantis world.
Right, and I thought it was going to be a little bit cheesy because a lot of stuff with Atlantis
Atlantis,
is, but
yeah.
actually they pulled it off, and there's some really cool stuff in there. I really like that. I actually we were doing like a book club, and we did the first one, which is the Atlantis Gene, I believe, and I ended up, because I liked it so much, I ended up reading all of them, even though we weren't doing that.
Now
But
you
yeah,
said that was
it's really cool.
sci-fi?
It's a sci-fi, yeah. It's more of a
Sweet.
sci-fi because there's all kinds of fantasy, right? Like I saw Brandon Sanderson, The Way of the Kings.
Yeah, I heard that was
Apparently
good.
that's really good.
Yeah, I heard
I
it's good.
started that, but there's so many like fantasy novels on there. I wanted to do some kind of sci-fi. So the one thing I wanted to do is the one on Amazon now too. It's the show, The Expanse. I heard that's really cool to read those books.
I heard
I've
the
only
show
seen-
was pretty good.
The show is great.
Okay, I haven't seen it, but I heard
the
good things.
The Amazon season was a little bit boring, but that's just, I think, based on where they were in the story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's really good.
The Wheel of Time series is like technically like 13 books long.
Yeah.
There's I think the one I'm reading now, the 4th book, is like 1,000 pages, but the first few are like quite a few hundred pages. So good, solid books. And then so it's not like I hate those like 150-page books for fantasy because you're just like, okay, well I didn't really get anywhere unless they just try to shove everything in there too quickly. But so far it's definitely been worth it. I don't know if I'm gonna read the prequel because that's like what is it,
I don't like that.
20 years before.
You look like you're drifting off, man. I was trying to poke you.
I
Digitally
felt
poke you.
violated.
A digital poke. Didn't that used to be a thing? Didn't we People poke
Yes,
people.
yes. I think you can still do it on Facebook. I think
Boy.
you can still poke people, but you have to like find it. I could be wrong. They could have taken it out. I don't know.
That's a hidden
It may be
feature. The
racist
poke.
now.
Yeah, it might be some kind of troll
Or
thing now. Oh, let
sexist or
trolls
something
poke
now.
people.
It's not consensual, really. If you think about
I didn't tell you could
Unconsensual
poke me.
poking. Yeah, it's got to go. It's got to
It's
go.
done.
Canceled. The poke was canceled.
it.
That's probably what happened. Okay. That poor poke. I mean, I barely use it. I use it as a joke more than anything. So,
Yeah.
like,
I
get
think
poked.
one of our nicknames should be the Poke.
Get poked.
The poke? I don't think so, Matt.
The Poke. Yeah.
Get poked.
I don't think so. I think that's a terrible idea. So,
Well,
but, you know,
You
Yeah,
want to
yeah, we could
explain
vote-
why you think it's a bad idea?
no, it's just a feeling, Mike.
Yeah,
You
of being
don't feel-
poked?
Do you know? Do you know what feelings are, Mike?
No.
No. Okay. Well, we'll get to that later with what a joke is too.
Okay. Next at 11.
We'll just do it all in one thing.
Our
Roll it all
jokes,
together.
See, now you're gonna-
feelings?
at 11, Mike. What are you doing? You put a hard constraint on yourself.
Well, I didn't say which 11.
True.
It's going to have to be an 11.
True.
All right. The heck are we talking about?
A little bit of anything and everything. I don't know.
Life,
We're
man.
just talking
Something
about
that-
books and the Wheel of Time series. Everybody should
Yeah.
check it out.
Check that
It's so good. Well, you know this. As we go to ramble on, let's give a shout out. What is it? I always messes it up. Sledgehammer Horror.
Yeah.
Kenny Sledge's YouTube page. I've watched every video so far. Really enjoyed them. His latest one, he had his son on, which I remember when his son was in a diaper. So it was
I do not remember that.
crazy to
'cause I
see
don't-
him.
I don't know who
Dude,
you
he's,
are.
he's bigger than his dad now. I mean, his dad's not happy about it, but
Could be. I have no idea. Again, I have no idea.
but it's
That it
What?
is Sledgehammer Horror, HORROR, right?
yeah.
Just for
Yeah.
anybody that's not familiar, I don't want any confusion, and I'm going to a different page that might be frightening.
Well, this is kind of being frightening, right? Because it is about scary movies. His main videos that he does is My First Horror. So he has a guest on
Yeah,
and talks
that's kinda
about
cool.
their yeah.
So he was talking about his first horror, which was like the house or
Yeah.
house or whatever. And I'm like, I totally remember that because I remember the
Right?
dude like falling through the mirror, like into the
Yes.
blackness and stuff. And I'm like, holy crap! Like that was just such a great '80s. Like I don't think you could do it now, right? Because it just doesn't.
No,
Like it's kind of cheesy but scary at the same time.
right. Well, but now when you get older and watch it, you realize it is like a comedy too. So there's like a lot of funny moments that when you're a kid, you kind of it just goes whoop.
You miss, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it
and-
was complete
good
scary to me
movie.
when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, when he was a kid. But I watched it. I don't know. It's been a while now. I'd say at least 6-7 years ago. And I remember going, okay, this movie is a little freaky, but at the same time, like I'm really laughing at this too. Like I enjoyed the movie. It did have that cheesiness in it. It was classic, like just feeling of watching this classic horror movie that made you laugh, but also made like, ooh, that's kind of creepy. So
Yeah, well, I subscribed today, so I'm gonna check out somewhere. There was some cool stuff on there.
yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty cool.
He's got some good
I'm
ones.
not a big horror fan, but it's always kind of cool having people talk about that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, that
I
experience.
like that. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be on there once we work out a time.
Pumpkinhead.
Talk about Pumpkinhead. Yeah, that's right. I told you
if
about
I was
that.
on there, yeah, because we had the same one because we had the same grandfather that did that. It was either that or Amityville Horror.
Right?
So-
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure I remember Pumpkinhead being my first after talking about it. I was like, I think that
think
was
so.
my first. And so I rewatched it recently, man, and there's some moments where I'm like, the witch. I remember the witch. I was like, oh no, not the witch. She's the creepy looking old lady, man. I tell you, it still gave me the heebie-jeebies for sure.
Yeah,
But
Grandpa would always play that to make
Oh,
us freak out.
Right? You'd always play those horror movies, those classic scary movies. I mean, that's how I got introduced into, Friday the 13th, the Halloween series, Nightmare on Elm Street.
But you only had like 3 horror movies, so we watched the same 3 over and over.
Yeah, but then
Like-
he we realized he had a bigger collection because he recorded everything. And then you realize, wait, all these movies that don't have titles on them, you'd put them in, and it'd just be a horror movie. You're like, what is going on? You're like, I'm 11, or like I'm 7 too. You know, like you're a little kid, you just put a movie, and you're like, what is this? And it's woo. It gets you. But I don't know. It's just a really cool series that he's got going on overall. He does a countdown, so I'm really enjoying his content, and I don't know. So shout out to my homie Kenny Sledge of Sledgehammer Horror. My favorite episode though is actually his longest one. It's with Josh Eppard. That's the drummer from Coheed and Cambria, and dude, listen to them talk is really cool because they're both such movie guys, especially horror, and the scene they brought up is also my most memorable horror movie scene is when Jason splits this girl up in a tent, right in half, literally just, and there's a sexual moment going on there too. So like it's all this craziness going on, and then all of a sudden, right through the tent, bam. And they were talking about it. I was like, I was just telling Kenny about this. Like that moment has been ingrained in my head since I was a little kid. But it was really cool to hear those guys talk about everything, break down the movie, why they like horror, things like that.
Yeah, he should do not your first though too. You should do like the one that messed you up the most, because I think that'd probably actually be The Grudge.
Grudge.
Oh, The Grudge.
Oh my God, yes.
Grudge
I think
is
that's the
pretty creepy.
last horror movie I've ever seen.
I don't know what it was. It was just the movements and the way they did it. It was
creepy.
tough. That I couldn't go to sleep that night, and I was like an adult.
Yeah,
I remember that was creepy.
Weirdly enough, after I watched that, I was at Grandma and Grandpa's house, hanging out that night. So maybe it's just being there.
Right? It just brings
Knowing
it all
that-
together.
Yeah, knowing that the VHS tape of a pumpkin head was sitting below me.
Like a beating heart calling to you.
Yeah,
I'm here. Watch
and
me.
Pumpkinhead 2, which is not as good. Just
No,
put on not as good.
not as good.
B horror, I'm all about. I will watch B horror any day.
You'll watch B anything all day.
Right? Yeah.
B anything all day.
Yeah.
I wish I could. I need to get Becca into that. It's very hard.
I don't think so. I mean, some people just appreciate art, and some people don't, Matt. And she doesn't, apparently.
What is
It is not her
I don't know.
art.
like Ginger Dead Man 7 or something?
Ginger Dead.
Ah, Ginger. That is a classic.
Dude, there was like a whole year or two we just went down B movie.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was great.
Were a lot of those trauma? Like Ginger Dead Man? Was that trauma?
Some of them. I don't think Ginger Dead Man is trauma. I could be
Some of them
wrong.
were. Wasn't the Evil Bong as well? I mean, there was a lot of them that we watched.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm mistaking who the Toxic Avenger movies. For some reason, I was thinking that was from.
Those are trauma. Right?
Okay.
Oh, not Toxic Avenger. Was it the Toxic Avenger? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was Toxic Avenger.
Now, talk about a movie that is completely messed up. The Toxic Avenger movies are disgustingly messed up.
Yeah.
They hurt me inside, like as a person. Like my soul hurt a little watching them.
Yeah, but
I just remember the
trauma
action
was made
figures.
worse. Trauma made worse.
I remember the action figures. For some reason,
Oh yeah.
they made action figures of it, and I had a bunch. What
Well,
was
they
it?
made
Matt?
They made
The
a cartoon.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
So when I went to watch the movie, I'm just thinking it's going to be some happy,
Nope.
silly. No, it's not. It's disturbing.
It was adapted for children, which, yeah.
I don't know how you adapt that to children, but they did it.
It did.
But
It's the same thing as like rated R movies used to have action figures, right? Like, okay, RoboCop was a big one.
Yeah.
Like, I had RoboCop figures. They sold them to you.
Yeah, but RoboCop was awesome.
Yeah, but you couldn't do that now.
I mean, Cabbage,
Too much
Was it-
violence.
Garbage Pail Kids. That was a thing.
Garbage Pail Kids.
Like,
I
there's-
wasn't allowed. those.
those things were like they're weird, man. They had a movie and everything, and I don't know. Some of that stuff's crazy.
I watched the Garbage Pail Kids movie
Yeah, so
like
have I.
3 years ago with Becca.
My God,
I-
it's so weird. So
Ooh.
weird.
It was amazing.
It is really. It's just.
It was amazing. I loved it.
I loved watching it. It was fantastic.
It was horrible, but it's so good.
I mean, man. But back to the Toxic Avenger. Like we talk about how messed up it is. I'm not sure if you know, like a lot of trauma movies, but trauma has made a lot worse. Like,
Worse than that?
yeah. Oh yeah,
Dang.
dude.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
The trope.
there's some movies. I was like, I can't believe this was made. This is insane, and I can't look away.
Shout out to Doritos.
They
I
are
am
not
the
sponsoring
product-
us. This is not a
I am-
paid promotion.
Not yet, Mike. But you never know.
That's it for everything, guys. Hopefully you appreciated this new content. Make sure you do give us that like, smash that button an odd number of times. Also, want to make sure you hit that subscribe and give us that little ding on the notification bell. That way you know when we put out the latest and greatest content that we're making for you. Can you feel the love tonight?
Boats and hoes.
You can hear that.
Mike, do you have to go pee before we start?
No, that usually comes in the middle.